Hey guys, it's Noah with American Trucks, and what I have in front of me here is the K&N Series 77 High Flow Performance Cold Air Intake for the 15 and newer 2.7 liter EcoBoost F-150. This intake is a perfect choice for an F-150 owner who's really looking to let that 2.7 breathe easy and pick up some more power with all the restriction from the factory intake system out the window. Really, the goal with any aftermarket intake is going to be deleting the restrictions the stock one came with right from the factory. Now, these restrictions suppress noise, they get rid of your throttle response, horsepower, and torque. And this K&N intake does a really great job of freeing up that cold air and funneling it right into your engine with nothing holding that airflow back. So without any restrictions, silencers, or baffles, air is free to move into your engine faster, which results in happier spooling turbos and an overall more enjoyable driving experience. Now, a nice airbox top is included with the kit as well, and the filter that it comes with is already oiled right out of the box, so you're protected from smaller particulates floating around the engine bay. Now, this filter is reusable too, so when this guy gets dirty, you can just wash it, re-oil it, and put it right back on. So the intake is constructed from lightweight mandrel bent aluminum tubing. Now that means this intake is going to be resilient to engine bay temperatures, unlike regular steel tubing would be, and sturdy enough to resist cracking or warping because of engine bay heat. Aluminum is known to dissipate heat faster than steel, so this is going to help keep those intake air temperatures down and prevent heat soak, which is especially important on a boosted truck. You also, with this whole kit, get a 1 million mile, 10-year warranty on this thing, which is pretty incredible. Talk about standing by your product. Now let's talk pricing. K&N's cold air intake comes in right around the $450 mark. That puts it pretty much right in the middle of the price range and right on par with most other intake options out there. Now, K&N has made a really serious name for themselves in the world of intakes and filters, so considering the brand and the quality you get for the middle ground price, I'd say this is a really decent option for an EcoBoost owner to consider. All the parts you need to install this intake are included with the kit. All the fittings, the clamps, the boots. This is just a bolt-on job, but it is going to require some mechanical skill to assemble everything here and get it installed. We're looking at a 2 out of 3 wrenches of difficulty rating, and I'd say it's safe to count on spending about an hour with it. So without further ado, I'm gonna hand it over to one of our AT customers who's gonna walk you through the install process step by step.
Okay, today we're gonna be installing K&N's cold air intake system on this 2021 F-150 XLT. As you can see, I've got the stock system in here. I'm gonna be replacing this with K&N's cold air intake. This is an EcoBoost 2.7 liter Ford. So gonna be showing you how to do that. The tools that are needed really don't need much. I've got a flathead screwdriver right here, and then an 8mm socket. So the first thing that we're going to do to install that is we're going to get our 8mm socket, and we're going to take off the factory cold air intake. So there's 3 clamps. There's one here and one here, and then the same one is down in here, but it's just on the back side. So it's kind of hard to see. I'll try to see if I can get an angle on it, but this is perfect. So what I'll start with is just removing this, and I'm gonna just loosen that up right there. So that's loose. And then you can see this little pin. If I just shift that, then it totally loosens up and I can pull that off. I'll now do this part. Loosen that up. Whoop. And then I'm going to push that so that piece comes loose there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the back side. You can see right there. So I'm loosening that piece. And then I will pull this one off. Shift that right there, as you can see. So now what I can do is I can take these tubes off, and they slide out super easy. The first thing that you might want to do, I did in maybe reverse order, is You can see that we've got the plug back here, and all you do is just squeeze it and it pops right off. So you can do that first, or if you want, you can, unscrew, loosen up, and then take out these. So I've got that. I'm gonna set that to the side, just right there. And then the next thing that I'm gonna do is the air box right here. So there's 2 clips right here. I'm gonna pop those clips, and it comes off super easy. So I've got the head of the air box, and then you can see the air filter. I actually just put a new air filter in, so it looks really good. Typically these would be pretty dang dirty. Okay, so I'm gonna take those and set those to the side. Okay, and then the next thing that I wanna do is I wanna start to put this together. So let me set some of these over here. And we wanna install the edge trim onto our heat shield here. So you can start anywhere you'd like with this. I'm just gonna start up in this top corner, and it's really easy. Takes just a minute to kind of work it in there, but all you're doing is just pressing it down, and you'll work it around these corners. Get that all put in there, nice. I'll just bend it around those corners and it fits perfect in. Now, when you get to the end, you're gonna see that there is some leftover tubing. And so you can get a pair of, snips or something. I'm gonna use an X-Acto knife. See if I can just cut that off and just get it right where I want it. There. So I'll push that down and just make sure that's all seated in there. And there we've got that box set up, ready to go. Make sure that's just on snug and looks good. Okay, so that's good. So I can set that aside. The next thing that I want to do is take the actual air filter. So this is K&N's 77 series. This is non-oil, so super nice. You don't need to oil it. Obviously you want to check it and maintain it, but really high quality. It's going to work out great here. So it's already got the clamps installed on it. As you can see, we've got both the clamps. These are 8mm clamps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, you know what, I don't want those installed. I'm going to take those off. Feed it through here, and then I'm gonna put my clamps back on. So it came in the package with the clamps already on, which is fine. And then some people have a strong preference of where they want their clamps, how they want them to look, all of that. So you can get them adjusted and make sure they're situated in the right spot before you tighten them up, make them look good. I'll probably put them both on just the sides. That's good for me. Man, I want to tighten one of these up first and do the other. So I'll make sure that's seated on there nice. And then grab my 8mm, tighten this guy up. That one, and that one. And I'm not tightening them all the way. They're gonna go on, some tubes in the truck. So I don't want them too tight, but just enough that they'll hold there. Okay, set that there. And we will, let's see, put those on the side. Get those installed. Okay, so we're going to now put the air intake into the housing, and there are little tabs that you want to just get aligned. Sit that in your clamps, we're just gonna clamp those back on, and I'm just pushing those in right there, okay? So we'll let that sit there. It's a little loose, but it'll get tightened up once we get the hosing set in there. So that's that. The next thing that we need to do is, you can see here, we've got this hole right here, and it comes with this little rubber gasket seal. So what we're gonna do is work that in there, and it's a little tricky, but you just work it around so it sits like that. Okay, perfect. So that's great. So we can set that aside for just a second and leave that. And then the next thing that we're gonna need to do is pull off this. So this is on the stock hosing here. So all I'm gonna do is take that and see if I can get this out. It's just a little twist, and it might be, you might want to get a hold of some pliers. Now you want to be soft. You don't want to break this because it is plastic. But I'm gonna grab onto that. There we go. Then the last thing that we're gonna do before we put this in is, there's a little blue kind of seal on there, so you can see right there. You can do it with a screwdriver, so it's easy, but I've got these picks, so I'm just gonna get in here and pull that guy right off, set that aside, okay? And then what we're gonna do here is put this in here. And while you're doing that, support the inside so that you don't push that black rubber seal through. Just like that. And you can see it's seated in there. Nice and good. And that's that in there. Perfect. See that? Great. Okay, so that is done right there. So what we're gonna do is just get these kind of seated, ready to go. These are all 8 millimeters. So I'm gonna tighten this up just enough to hold it into place. Right there, that should be good. Right there. And then this one as well. This one's gonna get both of them. So this one will get 2. Do one right here. Great. Maybe a little more. Perfect. And then one more right there. Just tighten that up. So that one's ready to go. And then this one as well. The other one will go right here. So throw that on, tighten that up. And we're just getting those into place, ready to go. So this one is, we're gonna put this one in first. And this one will go right here on your main big hose down here, okay? So what we're gonna do is just slide that into place, and it slides in there really nice. And then we can tighten up that clamp. So I'll come in and just get that nice and snug. Okay, so that's snug and good. And then the next thing that we're gonna do is put on this other. Great. A little too tight on this, so I'm gonna loosen that up. Get on there. Okay, so now we're going to install these tubes. Get those ready to go. So I'm going to come put with this facing towards, the truck. Put a little slide. I'm going to use my other hand to kind of support that as I jimmy that in there. There we go. Okay, great. So that's in. And then before I tighten that, I'm going to hook this hose up as well. Just want to make sure it all fits in snug and is aligned before I tighten everything up. Okay, so that looks good. I'm gonna loosen this one up and just get it in the right position that I want. Right there, right there. So I'm gonna tighten this one up. Right, that's tight. And then this as well, just on this back side right here. So I'll just double check that that's firm and come in here. Tighten that, okay. So that one's good to go. And then what I want to do is just connect this, and that will just snap right into place right here. Like I said, it does give you the extender if you want it, but it fits perfect. So no need for that. I'm gonna loosen these up. I feel like I'm gonna install this tube. And I will put the bottom in first. Just slide it down in there. And then the top will follow. And fits in snug. Tighten these up. All right, great. And then I'm gonna tighten down this one down in here. Make sure that's snug around there. Tighten that up good. Okay, so now what you wanna do is really just make sure everything's, buttoned up, feels good. Everything feels firm. Should be good there. Okay. Got everything connected. The last thing that I'm gonna do is throw in my K&N sticker. I just wanna make sure there's no grease on this. Just give that a good wipe. Yeah, this is heavy duty. This isn't gonna melt off. That'll be nice. And then let's just put it right there. Great.
That was my take on the K&N Series 77 High Flow Performance Cold Air Intake for the 2015 and newer 2.7 liter EcoBoost F-150. Now, this intake is available on our site, along with tons of other awesome upgrades for your truck. For all things F-150, remember to keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.